welcome to the Red Couch Talks, Susanne Koenig.
Thank you.
We were just talking about the fact, that some of my clients usually sit on my green couch in the meantime, and I sit here in my gray coach chair. We're doing this in person today. I'm glad to meet you. We met already once at, I think it was the
Women in Tech from Ladies Drive, I think.
That could be the case.
That was once, at least, I
Hello
remember.
50/50 World.
I usually try to come and never never works out.
I think it was at Kraftwerk.
Ah,
Maybe it was a different organizer.
yeah.
Almost 2 years ago.
No, you're right. It was Hello 50/50.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the only Hello 50/50
Yeah.
I managed to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But we haven't really had a lot of time to talk. So I'm so glad that we're finally actually getting to know each other. I've been a fan of Powercoders for a long time. And also that's how I got to know about you, Bettina, and Christian. And I also now understand you have your own company, and maybe we're even in a similar field, which is interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, you come at it from a different angle than me. But before we get into that, tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Yes, a fun fact. Well, always my imposter comes and says, like, there's nothing fun about you in your life. No. So, a lot of people see me like you, get to know me in a very professional way.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one fun fact is that then some people are watching telenovelas, other people are like reading these romance novels of the Duke's Daughter or whatever. And I'm doing that in comic style. So I'm really reading it on a phone.
Oh, yeah.
As a comic. So, my reputation as a vivid reader is now destroyed, I think, but it's so recharging for me. It's so relaxing for me. I just read it everywhere. I think I'm honestly a little bit addicted to it. And, all predictable.
Wow.
Girl meets boy, boy saves girl. Not the world I live in.
Who makes these comics?
Oh, I think it's an international platform, so they come from everywhere. There's a lot of I think a lot of Asian artists are doing them.
It's like mangas?
It's a bit like mangas, but comic style. So because of the original mangas are like Japanese style from right to left and black and white, and the comics are colored, and you just swipe through them. Really bad for my posture, by the way. So I'm always sitting like this.
Really interesting, and I would never have thought that.
Right?
I also realized, I think you're from Germany too.
Yes, yes.
So that's because we just had a chat. You told me where you're going on the weekend. When did you move to Switzerland?
18 years ago, 19 years ago? I can't even remember, honestly.
Almost the same time.
Yes.
Really? I came in 2009.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 2008, 2009, something like that.
What was the reason for that?
The job. Yeah, it's usually the job or the love, but for me it was the job.
Usually you would say they come for love, they stay for the job.
Yeah, no love. I still haven't found it, at least not long term.
No love in the country of cheese and cows for us.
For the country, not for men.
We love the cows.
Yes.
Awesome. I want to ask about your why. And so I can probably see the pattern between what you do with Powercoders and Wild Sense. Can you maybe share a bit more about, how you got to the stage where you are today, what your journey was like, and what exactly are you doing?
Yes, so from a journey part, I started as a web developer in Luxembourg. Also a fun fact, I never worked in Germany, by the way. So my first job was in Luxembourg. I worked at an insurance company as a web developer. And after 3 years, I wanted something else. And I wanted to switch to an agency. So the only thing I knew is I want to go on the other side, kind of, not from a corporate point of view, but from an agency, to get to know a lot of different clients, a lot of different industries. I was always very curious about, other industries, other people, what problems they try to solve, that kind of thing. And Luxembourg, even smaller than Switzerland, was very difficult to find an agency. And that's why I reached out to all of the other German-speaking countries and ended up in Switzerland. Most interesting job, and also best salary, to be honest. I mean, I was very spoiled. Luxembourg insurance paid very, very well. So going back to Germany and working there was, from a salary point of view, not possible. And then I fell in love in Switzerland. It was really interesting with the agencies. And I think the pattern again here was, like I said before, it was the curiosity. It was also getting to know people, talking to people. So I never was like this coder, the nerd sitting in the cellar, not getting any sunlight, that kind of thing. I also like coding, but I really like to see what they're actually solving, what kind of problem they have, what wishes they have, and really doing that instead. And that's with talking to people and getting to know them and understanding them. And I think that's also then the switch a bit later to Powercoders. So I started volunteering. Powercoders needs a lot of volunteers. And I loved the fact that my technical expertise and my experience, my work experience, can really help people, in this case, refugees and migrants, to grow and get in the end a job themselves, which is the idea of Powercoders. And after volunteering for one time, I was lucky that we were looking for a teacher quickly afterwards. And I jumped into that. I mean, zero teaching experience at all, so no background in teaching. And I wouldn't even call myself a teacher. I'm not teaching them. I'm empowering them to learn themselves and equip them with the tools they need to build a career here. Yeah.
You're a coach, basically.
In a way, exactly. Yeah. It's a coach. And I think that's also the journey is like from loving to connect with people to make it more and more professionally via coaching, to now being with Wild Sense. I founded that 1 year ago with a friend. She's also a colleague from Powercoders. We met at Powercoders, also a coach, and now we are coaching families. So it's like complete jump, kind of, or it feels sometimes to me like a jump. But when I tell the story, you can really see I just became more sure in what I want to do, and following that through.
And I read on LinkedIn that, the basis of all of it, and I completely agree with that, is also, how do we talk to each other? It's about communication. And it's interesting because I interview so many people, and, most of them, they tell me, no matter where they come from, like what kind of background they have, but they're usually, we're interested in working with people and helping people.
Yeah.
And somehow it very often boils down to that. Maybe I just have the right people on this Red Couch Talk. Maybe that's maybe I attract the right people for the interview.
Probably yes, but I think communication is key especially in IT. Often people think it's not. It's all about, features and skills, hard skills like programming and stuff. And it's not. In the end, it's communication. You need to understand what the other person wants. And you need to be able to talk to them on a level, also on an eye level, I think. And that's not always easy. And the better you are in communication, I think, the easier it is, no matter what you do at work or in life, actually. So.
Can I ask how, you feel like, how has communication amongst humans changed with the advent of AI?
Yes, it's a good question. I think, and I also speak a little bit with myself, for myself, because I'm using AI a lot to for a lot of things, from brainstorming to writing concepts and stuff like that. And often I'm not, and it helps me. For me, AI is a little bit like a mirror. So back from in the coaching scenario, right?
Yeah.
So it's mirroring my own thoughts.
Yeah.
It clarifies it, makes it clearer, gives it a focus, kind of sharpens it, and that helps me to understand myself better. And in a way, I think that helps me to communicate then with others as well, but as a second step. So also because I'm with AI, I think for me personally, I'm more with myself and understand better what I actually want to communicate, for example, or what is all of this about. And then I have already like a framework of what I think, of what it should be done. And then I go out and talk to other people, and there I get new ideas and I get the creativity I'm not getting when I'm looking into a mirror. Yeah.
The inspiration.
Yeah, the inspiration and you know, people are different.
Yeah. And when you work with your clients, did I understand that correctly? It's about parenting, or did I misunderstand?
It's yes, it's about, so we are targeting the parents kind of, but it's about the family system. So it's really about the relationships and the family dynamics, and that communication and connection, a strong connection between the family members, helps to stabilize the whole system in a way, and helps also then the children in the end, right? So
Yeah. I find that I have to be careful that I'm not starting crying. I find that a very important topic, because so many things within the world are probably due to neglect. And I see that a lot. If the children are taken care of better, and if they have a strong household and they're brought up in a family or in a system, let's say, it doesn't always have to be like the nucleus family, maybe not that concept, but now I also believe that it sort of takes a village. But it could also be, like your aunts and uncles and people,
family for you,
that
right?
take care of you when you're young. This is the basis of everything.
Yeah.
And I think we need stronger parents and better parenting, nurturing for everybody. Then, we would have less conflicts in the world and more peace. And I don't know, just
exactly,
people feeling better.
That's the belief, the core belief of Wild Sense. Absolutely that. We want to create a better world by starting with the family and creating the best roots for the children and the leaders of tomorrow, because they will shape the world. And the stronger they become, the stronger the parents are.
And did you always want to work with migrants and refugees, or in Wild Sense, are you also working with international families? Or?
We are mostly targeting international families as like a first step, because I think they also have like less support within Switzerland than Swiss families. And no, to answer your first question, if I ever wanted or imagined to work with refugees and migrants. Refugees, no, that was a completely new world when I started with Powercoders. Migrants, in a way, because I always was one, right? I mean, like I said, I never worked in Germany, so my whole professional life I have been like a migrant and an expat, and I always have been working in English. It's also very interesting. I mean, I looked at a job in a German-speaking country, but in the end, from day one, I worked in English. That I could imagine, but refugees, that was really a completely new world, and I learned so much because, even if you think you know, if you're not working with them and also working with in the system they are in, right? I mean, in the end, they are people, they're humans like you and me, and they have, but they are like bound by the, yeah, the system the states puts around them, kind of, which is sometimes, I mean, it is there to help them, of course, but it can also be challenging and to overcome.
Yeah. And I mean, Powercoders does a tremendous job helping with coding skills, programming skills. What else do you do? Do you also help with job search?
Yes. So first of all, yeah, we started as a coding bootcamp, but we are also turning away from the hard skills because we have 3 months bootcamp. In 3 months, no one can nowadays learn better coding than Claude. Other AIs, it's just not possible. So it's more about shifting a little bit how to work with AI or use it, for example, in a responsible way. And more like the concepts. So concepts, how's a project, how's a product built, how is a project done, to understand from the ideas to does it actually make sense to the actual prototype in the end. So we are now really a project-based program. And with that, we do have a lot of soft skills. So we call them social and business skills, but it's about, I think the main focus always, and even now more, has been about communication. How do you give feedback? How do you receive feedback? How do you present? How do you pitch? You know, pitching an idea. It's a lot, like I said, coaching involved. It's a lot of self-reflection involved. And of course, also practical things like interview preparation, making your CV ready. And then, yes, as part of our main program, so this is currently our flagship program I'm talking about, they are introduced to companies. So because we believe that we are also not only giving them skills and equipping them a tool, that's like the base, but to actually make it happen, you need to open the door. And
you need the network.
You need the network, exactly. And so that's also why volunteers are so important. It's not necessarily because they can teach you so much. It's more like learning from experience, but it's like they're all doors and windows to the industry, right? To maybe finding a job later yourself.
Yeah. Can I just ask, because you know, I have some clients who might be interested. Are you looking for mentors at the moment? Or is that still an option for people to join Powercoders as mentors or?
Yes, so we do have like two. So one is really more coaching, which is what we call job coaches, and like supporting or guiding someone while they are in an internship or preparing for an internship. And there we are always looking for people. Usually we have quite a big network in Zurich, so we struggle sometimes in the Romandie and in Bern to find people. So if you know someone or if someone is now watching this and lives there, feel free to go to our website and look it up. And then hard skills wise, we are also sometimes looking for mentors for specific technical skills.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's really a mentorship. So it's really giving advice. What would be the best next step? What should I learn? How should I learn it? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. And Susanne, if you could go back to Luxembourg times, and when you were a little younger than now, still young, would there be any advice you would give to a younger version of yourself?
I'm not sure. I think what I learned, maybe learned the hard way, was to lean into myself, trusting myself and loving myself. And maybe, I would tell my younger self that this is super important and crucial, and maybe when it goes a little bit faster, but in the end, I believe that stuff needs time. Processes need time and patience, so I'm not sure it would be so helpful back then, to be honest. Uh, and some things you have to live. Just knowing them or hearing them is not so helpful, right? So, for example,
Yeah.
there was like this concept from, I think it's a leadership concept from these circles. You maybe know them, the circle of what I can control, the circle of what I can influence, and then the huge circle of, you know,
concern,
of concerns or
Yeah.
what you cannot control in a way, right? And in theory, it all makes sense and it's clear and it's a very good picture. But only recently, I have known it for years, but only recently I ingrained it somehow in myself, in my being.
Yeah.
And now it's useful. Before that, it was just, yeah, theory that makes sense, and of course, but it was only in my head. And now it's within me and I feel it, and it gives me a lot of breathing space.
Yeah.
And it gives me a lot of potential, actually.
Yeah.
Because you're not focusing on what you cannot control, but you're focusing on what you can control. And when you stretch yourself and open up and have like a lot of potential, what you can change. Yeah, but I'm not sure that my younger self would have understood it back then.
I often make that comparison when it comes to intercultural knowledge.
Yeah.
So I basically think, you know, there's some things you need to learn through experience, but it's useful to get the knowledge as well.
Yeah, true.
And intercultural frameworks are one of them. Like, I did not really understand what it means to be in a relationship-oriented culture, even though I understood the concept. But then I moved to India, worked in India, and suddenly, you know, like my perception of the world completely changed. Completely shifted.
Exactly, it's a mind shift.
And then, you know, when I've lived through the experience, Joseph Schultz sometimes talks about embodying the experience. After I had embodied the experience, then I got the concept properly. So this is why, you know, I find it very hard to teach intercultural competence to students, like bachelor student level, which I've done for 2 years. When the pandemic came, luckily I could stop doing that because, you know, they have not been through the experience, but they think they know everything. And that's that it's hard for them to, you know, really get it. So it's hard to teach these things only in theory.
It's true, but like you said, it's also still helpful to know the theory, because when you embody it and you understand it, you maybe, they might think back to you and say like, okay, now I get it. Now I understand.
Yeah, it's a starting point. And I use the 3 circles a lot as a way to help also people to, you know, move out of the circle of control into the circle of influence.
Exactly.
Because, you know, for example, you know, when you build your network and you have more, you know, more people, that expands your circle of influence, and then you can do better things. Like, you know, I mean, looking at the work that you do, for example, or that I do, you know, we need the networks to help more people get a job, for example. For me, this has always been a motivator to continue networking. Because I knew that the more people I know, the more people will find a job in Switzerland. So, you know, like sometimes this expansion is the thing, you know, like, okay.
I think that's part of it. Exactly. The influence you can really go. And I think it's a bit like this ripple effect in a lake. So you influence people, you help one person finding a job, and that will influence others from this side, right? Like ripples going on.
Exactly. So we have, I think we could talk for hours.
I think so too.
I'm so glad you came by. So let's shift gears. I mean, we talked about networking, alluded already. Is there anything that you like to do for networking? What is your preferred method?
In-person networking. Yes, it's also sometimes the biggest hurdle. Because it's often in the evening after work, right? You feel like, oh, I don't just want to go home. And so it takes like more effort to go there, but I think in person it's just easier to build the connection, to create a relationship, and also have a good time because it's like energy, right?
Yeah.
You said before that you're also getting energized by having these interviews, and I think that's networking in person for me as well.
Yeah.
It can give me a lot of energy as well, and get to know the people in person. Sometimes it's not so easy. So currently at Wildsense, we are also trying to build a
Yeah.
network. Powercoders is easier. We already have a network.
Yeah.
And and then I also think well, for me currently the most difficult part is to find the right place to build the network.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, with Powercoders, it's like this refugee world, which
Yeah.
I didn't know before, but because Powercoders already built it in the refugee part, but also in the technical part, um, it was easier to get access because Powercoders already had the network. In Wildsense now we are, it's like it's a new, for me, a new place of coaching and families and there to go to then make this good in-person connections is something I'm still not sure if I found the right
Yeah.
places. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. And I think, there's also in Switzerland, everything has sort of a process.
Yes.
And for this area, it's a very regulated process. Like, even if you think about even the terminology, I sometimes still find a bit different than in Germany. Like there's a lot of words that I would not naturally use. And yeah, well, maybe, you could just as a tip, think about the transactional analysis world. So we have, I've studied this course in the Eric Berne Institute. And there you find a lot of educators and people also working with families and family systems, but they're not therapists, not family therapists.
Exactly.
Because, for therapy, you need to have a whole education in psychology, etc. So yeah, maybe this is an area to think about.
It's a good
You just
point.
need to get more into the Pädagogische Hochschule and these areas where they actually work with people who work with
that's
children.
a good idea.
Or another idea would be connect with children first.
Yes.
If you haven't heard about them yet, they're the ones who gave us the cameras. Also from the original ETH group.
Okay.
I tell you,
Yes.
sometimes years later, you can see how things connect with each other. I'm also of the opinion that we have a lot of amazing groups in Switzerland and a lot of great NGOs. And I think we should all collaborate more with each other.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
So, use the potential that we have in these groups. Exchange also the mentors and the supporting environment.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of women in tech stuff, for example, right? I always found it weird that like a new thing came up instead of like, okay, try to collaborate with others or see what is already others are out there. And yes, they all have like their own unique ideas, what they want to do. And I get it. But in the end, by that, you're also losing power because power is like, spread in between different NGOs and groups. And if you would have it all under one umbrella, it would be a lot more powerful to also influence more in society.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I guess we're not going to get bored because, we're still expecting a lot of people from other countries move into Switzerland, hopefully, again, soon. And there's always potential to collaborate.
Yes, that's true.
Because, we're serving a similar group of people.
Looking forward to that, actually.
Do you have anything exciting come up in the next few weeks other than summer holidays? What are your plans?
It's after summer holidays. No, Wildsense is 1 year now in summer, actually.
Yay!
And we decided to celebrate in our own way, the Wildsense way. With a comedy night, actually. A comedy night here in Zurich, stand-up, improv, all about parenthood.
Okay.
On 5th of September, it's a Saturday. And yeah, so you're welcome. Everyone's welcome to. We are selling it as tickets just to get the money back for the location and the artists who are joining. It's a female lineup, by the way, so all
wow.
women. So yeah, really looking, Yara and I are both looking forward to it. And I think it will be a very fun way to celebrate 1 year.
Oh, it sounds great. Fantastic. 5th September. You're
Yeah.
gonna send us the link and we're gonna add it to our show notes.
Yes,
So,
wonderful.
very good.
So, and maybe I see you there. Love
I'm gonna put it into my agenda right away after the call. Super. Susanne, it was great talking to you.
Same here. I really loved it. Thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic weekend, fantastic summer,
You as well.
and I'll see you in the fall.
Yeah, on 5th of September.
September.